The hands-on skills are super critical, particularly as we move beyond CCNA and get into the CCNP level, because we're really expecting you. There's a lot of configure tasks here in ENCOR. And so set aside the time, do the practice, whether that's through a training course like on CiscoU. You'll get lots of lab practice in there for all these configure tasks, because that hands-on practice is critical. 120 minutes feels like a long time. But when you've got 3 or 4 lablets that you've got to get through, and each one of those lablets will have more than one task,
for sure,
right? You have to be ready and have done the practice, the muscle memory is built in.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Hank and Patrick, and we're obviously back talking about the Enterprise Core exam. And we're going to zoom in on Domain 4 now, Network Assurance.
Yeah, my first thing that I notice on this is, well, I guess 2 things. There are 6 tasks in here, but it's 10%, which is a fairly small portion of the exam. And so you're not going to see a lot of questions about any one of these tasks, but that doesn't mean don't look at them. Right?
No.
It's still 10% of the exam, but it just means that you have to balance yourself across all of them. And there's some interesting stuff in here, actually. I almost, again, kind of wish there was more of this, because there's some really cool things in here from an operations perspective.
And I think what jumps out, again, is all these configuration tasks mean that they're really good candidates for those performance-based questions. So it's quite possible that part of your ENCOR exam, you'll have a lab where you'll be asked to deploy an IP SLA or asked to enable NetFlow. So you need to practice these. That's where CML comes into play. You can build these out and practice on that.
Yeah, the hands-on skills are super critical, particularly as we move beyond CCNA and get into the CCNP level, because we're really expecting you. There's a lot of configure tasks here in ENCOR. And so set aside the time, do the practice, whether that's through a training course like on CiscoU. You'll get lots of lab practice in there for all these configure tasks, because that hands-on practice is critical. You're going to be asked to do it, and in a time condensed. 120 minutes feels like a long time. But when you've got 3 or 4 lablets that you've got to get through, and each one of those lablets will have more than one task,
for sure,
right? You have to be ready and have done the practice, the muscle memory is built in. You mentioned, what did we mention? IPSLA, flexible NetFlow, SPAN, right? SPAN's an important operations technology. So the basic, like on one switch, remote span, ERSPAN. Make sure you've gone through all those variations, and you can use the hands-on practice for those.
We were just talking before we recorded this about a new verb, and I think it was the first time we saw it in this blueprint anyways. The 4.1 has an interesting verb. It's diagnose. So that's quite high in the Bloom's taxonomy in terms of difficulty level, sophistication. It's not quite at the troubleshooting, but it's definitely like in the area of the configure, verify. And the idea with diagnose is that maybe you'll be shown some output. And if we look at 4.1, it is all about output, debug output, traceroute output, pings, Syslog, SNMP, which, again, things that we covered a little bit in the CCNA, but we're going deeper here. We really want to start leveraging them to figure out maybe what's wrong with my network, what's going on with these logs, what do they actually mean?
Yeah, and there's a couple of ways you may see this represented in exams and in skills. You may be shown output from a debug or a traceroute and asked to kind of figure out like what might be wrong. Or you may also be given a situation, a scenario that says, this is what's going on. And then you have to figure out like which one of these tools would be the most appropriate to kind of troubleshoot to do that diagnostic. So there's a lot of really interesting things that you need to be prepared for and understanding here for 4.1.
And I'll leave 4.6 to you if you don't mind. Fair. I'll just quickly mention 4.5. So this is the first time as we're going through the topics that Catalyst Center is mentioned. And it's mentioned here in Domain 4 in terms of network assurance. So here, again, we're not asking you to deploy Catalyst Center. We're asking you to see how you would use it to help with your network assurance. So in other words, you're monitoring, pushing maybe configurations to devices, but more the management side of things. And you can see that we've updated this as well to include AI-powered workflows as well. So AI is mentioned.
Our last part here in network assurance is configure and verify NetConf and RESTCONF. Now, assurance is a term that is getting a little bit newer now, right? We used to just call this like operations, like management, monitoring. And the traditional way we might have done this was with technologies like SNMP, right? We would use that to understand how our network is behaving with pulls and traps. Well, the modern protocol versions of these are NetConf and RESTCONF. These are the IETF standards for kind of that next generation on top of SNMP. So I don't believe we see a little bit up there at the top, but that's why NetConf and RESTCONF fit back in here. Is they're really all about kind of making sure that we can operate, we can check the status of our network, and use it with these newer protocols of NetConf and RESTCONF. So be ready to configure and verify. What's interesting here is that I read this, and I read this to be like, you need to be able to ready to understand how to turn on these features, turn on RESTCONF, turn on NetConf, verify that they're operating successfully, maybe do some basic pieces. This doesn't read to me like it's going to dive deep into using NetConf and RESTCONF against the environment, against a switch, against a router on that side. It's really about the protocols themselves. So don't over-rotate too much in your preparation into like diving deep into using them. Just make sure you know how to turn them on, how to verify that they're functioning successfully.
So again, a small domain in terms of weight, but a lot of configuration tasks. Again, just giving you a hint that those could get pulled into these performance-based questions. Also, they could also be part of the multiple choice or drag and drop questions as well. All right, so thanks for joining us for that one. We'll be back in a few seconds with Domain 5.
Yeah.